Hey guys, Khalid from Cricket Fanatics Magazine here, and I'm here with Dane, Piedt, and obviously Zubayr, Hamza. Guys, the Test series is coming up against England, but I wanted to start a little bit further back. Just before the Mzansi Super League, you guys went on a tour to India. From a spinner's perspective, first of all, and a bowler's perspective, can you maybe just give me some insight into what the tour was like?
Now it's probably the hardest cricket I've ever played. It was very difficult, especially I think the third test was the hardest because we actually did score runs in the first test to get them close, and then a couple of half chances didn't go away in the third innings of the match, which made things difficult for us because they could really push up the ante on the. I think it was the last session of day 4. They could really push up the ante and put us under pressure. But I think the third test match we were just completely outplayed in all aspects. The seamers were better than us. I just think that we went there with the mindset of thinking that the spinners were going to bowl us out, but I mean the battery of fast bowlers that they do have really put us under pressure from. I mean, you can probably speak a bit more, but I think it was by far the hardest cricket that I've ever played in my life.
Yeah, and from your perspective, because obviously for the first 2 games you were sitting and watching the game, and then you got an opportunity to actually play and you did really well. But first of all, from an analysis point of view, being in the changing room, seeing what unfolded, what was your experience like?
It was definitely a learning curve. There were positives about how to play in tough conditions, where not just the physical conditions and the nature of the game was in play, but it was more the mental side of it. And definitely with regards to playing disciplined cricket for longer periods of time, I think that was a key part of how well they played and what we can learn from the experience. It was a long time in India, and it definitely tested the guys mentally. So from my point of view, it was kind of talking to people, learning how they got through or what they were thinking at that tough time, and then kind of just playing the game at face value, adjusting to different situations and scenarios. And unfortunately, it didn't go away in India by a long shot. But definitely some things that I can take out of it that can help me in my individual game.
So as a spectator, from my point of view, what I noticed over there is that, I don't know, I saw the pitch do different things for them than it did for you guys. Was it more of them just being more consistent? Or was it, what do you think happened in that innings break?
If you look at it, the series against India in South Africa, we've grown up in these conditions, so we've adapted. Vernon got 6 here at Newlands. He adapted quicker than their seamers did because he's grown up in these conditions.
Yeah.
They've understood and playing in those conditions the way to do it. They won every toss, which made things a lot easier for them. Not saying that would have been different for us, but just saying winning every toss and having that scoreboard pressure would obviously, regardless if you're Virat Kohli or Rohit Sharma, you would have that sort of pressure on you. So if you look at it, they just, adapted to the game a lot quicker than we did. We were just caught behind the 8 ball a little bit more. And yes, we were an inexperienced side, no excuses, a little bit inexperienced in certain aspects of the game. Some of us have not played a lot of test cricket, myself included, so it was a bit of a, like Zubi just said now, a learning curve, definitely. Yeah. But yeah, it looked a lot harder sitting on the couch than being in the moment of the game. Because this is what test cricket's all about. We want to play in that and want to learn regardless of the stats we walk out there with. We want to be tested against the best, and then take it from there and actually share the experience with the younger guys. He's young, he can share with the guys that's a bit younger than him and actually a bit older than him as well, that has not experienced that sort of cricket. But the only thing we can do is just walk out of there with our heads held up nice and high and try to test ourselves the more we play cricket.
Okay, so now, with all the turmoil that's happening, which I'm not going to get into, but now you guys still have to play a cricket game, and you're going to have probably one of the hardest tours over here with England coming down. They're a settled team. South Africa's in a transitional phase. Then I wanted to ask you, because you played in the previous series over here where we lost. Now you got a team that doesn't have the likes of Amla, who was top scorer of the tournament. KG is there still, who was top wicket taker. How do you guys come together and still put on a magnitude of a show for the spectators and also just do your duty in the middle with everything that's happening at the moment?
Playing a test match in South Africa is a lot better than playing a 4-day match because there's people watching, there's spectators. You get yourself up by playing that and facing the best in the world. So if you're going to face up against the likes of Stokes and Archer and the list continues, you want to be against the best to play your best. So I mean, it's not they are a settled side. They just came off a series loss as
Yeah.
well. We've come off a series loss as well. We know home conditions. We've got some of the best cricketers in the world, and some of the up and coming cricketers in the world. So it's all about understanding that they are not better than you. They are also on the same level as you playing Test cricket.
Yeah.
So it's just about the small matchups within the 5 days that you,
Yeah.
if you come out of those small matchups, then you win the game at the end of the day. So 2015 was a good series. We were on a spinning pitch in Durban where they bowled last. Moeen Ali got 9 wickets in the Test match. Dale Steyn broke down in the Test match. Vernon was out of the Test series as well. So it was a bit of like up and down regarding our team as well. But I just think that with the team that we have now, especially the bowlers, we can bowl teams out and get 20 wickets. And that's, at the end of the day, is the most important thing in a cricket match.
So if you had to give a youngster like him some advice from your experience over here when they came down here, the guys like Ben Stokes that was the top bowler, it's not normally like the guys that perform in England perform here. So like Ben Stokes, for example, stood out. What type, Joe Roots of the world, they expected to perform in this type of conditions. What sort of advice would you give a guy like Zubi?
No, just simple advice, really. Compete as long as you can. You said it earlier. They play for long. In India, it was longer periods of times of the game where they just took it past us. So if you can stay in that battle for as long as possible, I mean the 60 that he got, if you could stay in that battle with Jadeja for a touch longer, they get out the game. And there's a partnership that develops. So as long as a batting unit, you extend your partnership for as long as possible and bat them completely out of the game, you're winning the game because it makes it easier for a bowling unit to come in and take those 20 wickets, you know. But I mean, a guy like Ben Stokes, for example, a lot's been said. His bowling it probably suits South Africa more than England because he gets the ball, the seam in a good position. But other than that, they pretty normal bowlers that he would have faced in his career as well. The likes of Shami and Yadav and Sharma are probably more skillful because they play in conditions that don't suit this type of bowling. So I mean, just stay in a battle for as long as possible. That's what we tried to do in the series in 2015. They just got a touch ahead of us in the first Test match, and the Wanderers they completely outbowled us on an up and down pitch, and then at Centurion we beat them. So I mean, it's a good series to be a part of the New Year's Test. You play in front of your home fans. For us, coloured guys from Cape Town, you've come down to the ground and you've watched it for years upon years. And the Test match that you want to play in is this, the Cape Town, the New Year's Test match. So, it's an unbelievable spectacle. It's one of the best tours to be a part of, especially in South Africa. Just enjoy it. I mean, one day your career is going to be done and you can say you've played in, regardless of what the stats are, you've said you've played against England at Newlands.
So Zubi, just going to you quickly. Hearing that from him, taking that advice. But also, I'm just going to assume now, from a perspective of the fans, because a lot of the fans have picked you in their side as at the number 3 position. The squads haven't been announced yet. The director of cricket hasn't been announced yet at this time of this interview. But let's just assume that you are in that side, and if you get that opportunity and you start in the number 3 position, how do you approach a series like this? And what sort of advice have you taken from the seniors around you?
I think I treated the past 2 tests that I've been kind of given the opportunity to play in. Kind of treated as face value. A good bowler is a good ball is a good ball. Bad ball is a bad ball. Kind of be hungry for runs, and just kind of play my game. Be nice and patient. It's playing for your country is on a level where it doesn't. There's a lot of skill involved, but the level of awareness that you have to have mentally, that I think differs from domestic cricket. And for me, is to raise the kind of wavelength that my mind runs on to play at this level. And I've batted well in a couple of innings, but it's not figures that I'd definitely be satisfied with at the moment. So for me, is to enjoy the occasion if given the opportunity again, to play to the best of my ability and hopefully put in some serious performances for the national side. With regards to advice taken from players, the guys have been pretty welcoming, pretty friendly and approachable. So I've been pretty comfortable to talk to people about where their heads at, what they reckon about different situations, and if given the opportunity to start a series, it would be a first for me in terms of the kind of pressures that you play under. So just to embrace that and to kind of fully immerse myself in whatever moment I am in on and off the field, that would be important for me.
And I don't know if you guys do get the opportunity to pick the brains of the opposition, but if you did have the opportunity to do so, who in that side would you ask for advice?
With regards to the England side, definitely probably Joe Root. It's one of the best batters in the world, in my opinion. Who else would there be? Don't want to give too many names now, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it if given the opportunity. Hopefully, at the end of the series, it will be a win for us. So then it's kind of a bit easier to approach them. But yeah, fortunately, after the series loss in India, we kind of went over to their changing room, chatted to a couple of their players, spoke to Mayank Agarwal for a bit, and gave me some good advice going forward about just being hungry to play and playing whenever there's opportunity to play. So yeah, that was good from him.
Okay, thank you guys. Good luck
Thanks,
with the
bro.
series and with everything in the future.
Thank you.
Shotman.